So good morning, dear students. In today's class, we are going to see about modes in a planar guide. So actually, a planar guide is the simplest form of optical waveguide. So it consists of a slab of dielectric with refractive index N1 sandwiched between two regions of lower refractive index N2. So here this N1 is sandwiched between N2 layers, right? So now consider a plain monochromatic wave propagating in the direction of the ray path within the guide that is shown in this figure. Here, the component of phase propagation constant in the Z direction is given as beta Z, and the value of beta Z is equal to N1 K into cos theta, where this theta represent, here we have the value of theta. So this theta is the angle between the wave propagation vector and the guide axis, right? This is our guide axis. Here we have the value of N1K. So the N1K represent vacuum propagation constant. So the component of phase propagation constant in the x direction. Here we have, this is the z direction, here we have the x direction. So x direction is given by beta x is equal to N1K sine theta. When the total phase angle, right? So here we have the wavelength, sorry. So here we have the wavelength is equal to lambda divided by N1. So the propagation constant beta is equal to N1K. So because at this point, so the value of, here we have beta Z is equal to cos theta. So actually for a minimum angle of theta, that is, let us consider the value of theta is equal to 0. Here the value of beta will be is equal to N1K, right? So in Z x direction, if the propagation is in x direction, the value will be equal to N1 into K sine theta. So now let us consider the interference of plane waves in the guide. So when the total phase change after two successive reflection of upper and lower interfaces, that is between the point P here, P and Q, between the point P and Q, here we have representing the point as P and here we have represent the point Q. So it is equal to 2 m pi radians. So here this value of m is nothing but an integer. So the m is nothing but it's just an integer. So now let us assume the interference forms the lowest order standing waves, where the value of m is equal to 0, and here the electric field is maximum at the center of the guide. So here this is the center of the guide, right? So at this place the electric field will be maximum, and the guide decaying towards 0 at the boundary between the that is core and the cladding. So this is the core and cladding boundary, right? It is traveling towards here. So at this place, it will be decaying towards 0. So the electric field distribution in the x direction does not change as the wave propagation in the z direction. So the stable field distribution in the x direction with only a periodic z dependence is known as mode. So a specific mode is obtained only when the angle between the propagation vectors or the rays and the interface have a particular, these interfaces have a particular value. So the light propagating within the glass is formed into the discrete mode, that is distinct value of theta. So these modes have the periodic z dependence of the form of exponential of minus j beta z, where the value of beta z, that beta z is the propagation constant for the mode. So we denote the value of beta is equal to beta z, right? We know the propagation constant can be repressed by beta. So it was propagating the z dependence value. So we are repressing the beta as beta z. So let us assume a time dependence from the monochromatic electromagnetic light field with the angular frequency omega, then the value of exponential, it will become the exponential of j omega t. So combined factor of exponential of j omega t minus of beta z describes a mode propagating in the Z direction. So for a monochromatic light field of angular frequency omega, a mode traveling in positive Z direction has a finite and Z dependence. It is can be given as the combination of exponential term of omega t minus of beta Z. So now consider a plane waveguide gives a constructive interference to form standing wave pattern across the guide following a sine wave or a cosine formula, such as the rays for m is equal to, this is for m is equal to 0, that is lowest or mode we have. For mode m is equal to 1, it will produce as a single standing wave, and for m is equal to 2, it will produce as a standing wave like this, and m is equal to 3, it will produce a standing wave will be like this. So it will be in the decreasing order. So when electric field is perpendicular to the direction of propagation and hence the value of Ez is equal to 0, then the magnetic field Hz in the direction of propagation, that type of wave is called as transverse electric waves. You might have learned these TE modes and TM modes in the TLW itself, right? So again, what do you mean by TM waves means when electric field is in the direction of propagation, but the value of Hz will be equal to 0, that is magnetic field will be 0, then that type of modes are called as transverse magnetic waves. So again, this this mode can be represented in the suffix here. Here we have TEM and TEM, right? So this M is the mode number. Here we have the value of M. So this M represent mode numbers. So when the total field lie in the transverse plane, so transverse electromagnetic, that is TEM wave, exists where both Ez and Hz are 0. That is, for example, it occurs in the coaxial cable, right? So in coaxial cable, the value of Ez and Hz will be equal to 0. That type is called transverse electromagnetic waves. So now we can see phase velocity and group velocity. Right? So before going to see the phase velocity, let us see what do you mean by wavefront. For a plane wave, there are points of constant phase. These constant phase points forms a surface that is referred as wavefront, right? So in a phase velocity, it was traveling. If you have the way of the light monochromatic wave is traveling in a plane wave, there are points of constant phase. These constant phase points forms a surface is referred as wavefront, right? So we can see the definition for phase velocity. It can be represented by V suffix P. It is a monochromatic light wave propagates along a waveguide in the Z direction. So these points of constant phase travel at a phase velocity. So that can be represented by V suffix P. So it is equal to omega by beta, right? So here the value of omega is angular frequency of wave, and here beta is propagation constant. So now let us see phase velocity. So in phase velocity, these waves are split into packets. So the energy of wave moves in a group of waves is called as group velocity, right? So here the energy of waves moves in a group manner. So this is called group velocity. So the group velocity can be represented by d omega by d beta, right? So it will form a group and it will be propagating like this. So this type of wave is called as group velocities. Now let us see this group velocity and phase velocity relates to a propagation characteristics of packets of light. So let us see the derivation for this propagation constant. So if propagation is an infinite medium of refractive index n1 is considered, then the propagation constant may be beta is equal to n1 into k. So take this as equation number 1. So from the Laplacian order, or we will represent as wave number, right? So from that we know the value of k is equal to 2 pi by lambda. Now substituting the value of k is equal to 2 pi by lambda in equation 1, we will get beta into n1 into 2 pi by lambda. So we know the relation between lambda and frequency. So that is lambda is equal to c by f. So if here we will get c divided by, that is 2 pi into f divided by lambda. So that is for lambda, the value is C by F. For here we will get C and here we will come F value. So now we know the value of 2 pi F is nothing but omega. So by substituting the value, we will get beta is equal to N1 into omega by C. So substituting this beta value in phase velocity, we know Vp is equal to phase velocity is omega by beta. So for this, by substituting the value of beta is equal to N1 into omega by C, we will get Vp is equal to C divided by N1. So similarly, for a group velocity, we know d omega by d beta, the value is equal to d omega, that is Vg. Group velocity can be represented by Vg. The value of Vg is equal to d omega by d beta. Now, for the simplification, let us multiply and divide by d lambda in this expression, and by simplifying, we will get the value of Vg is equal to C divided by Ng. So, this Ng is nothing but group index of the grid. So, now let us briefly see the derivation of the propagation constant, right? So, here the propagation constant beta is equal to N1 into 2 pi by lambda. So we are taking that as equation number 1. So here this N1 represents the refractive index of the medium, and 2 pi by lambda is the wave number, or we will consider the Laplacian order. So it can be represented by K. Now, so I have already told, by substituting this value in equation 1, we will get the value of beta is equal to N1 into K. So here omega is the angular frequency. So the value of omega equal to 2 pi F, right? So now here we have the value of lambda. So for this lambda, we are substituting lambda is equal to C by F. So from this we will get a value like this, 2 pi C. For example, lambda is equal to C by F means what is the value of F? F is equal to C by lambda. So by substituting the value, we will get a value like this. Now we have to substitute for phase velocity. We know the formula omega by beta. So now we are going to substitute the value of omega is equal to, here we have omega is equal to 2 pi C divided by lambda into, we have the value of beta. So we know the value of beta is equal to N1 into 2 pi by lambda, right? So here the beta is in the reciprocal. So we have to write in inverse. So we will write lambda divided by N into 2 pi. So this lambda get cancelled. Again, this 2 pi get cancelled. We will get the phase velocity Vp is equal to C by N. So now let us consider for a group velocity. So Vg is equal to d omega by d beta. We know this. So for a simplification, just multiply and divide by d lambda. We will get, so this value, right? So multiplying Vg is equal to d omega divided by d beta, this value. We are multiplying dividing by d lambda. So we will d lambda into d lambda. So again, Vg is equal to, so just by, we are going to cross or rearranging this expression. So we are just rearranging like d lambda divided by d beta into d omega divided by d lambda. So from equation 1, so what if with equation 1 is nothing but N1 into 2 pi by lambda, right? So in the beta place, we are going to substitute the value of beta is equal to N1 into 2 pi by lambda. So we will get the value like this. So d by d lambda. So here we have the beta in the denominator. So I am taking the inverse of that. So I am substituted in the prefix like -1, right? So because we have here d omega divided by d lambda is written here, right? Again, we have d lambda divided d beta. I'm just taking the term as inverse term. That's why I'm representing here -1, right? So here for beta, I'm substituting the values n into 2 pi by lambda, right? So now I'm going to write these whole terms in terms of lambda. Here we have omega. So by just this omega is replaced by a term lambda. So I will get here 2 pi C by lambda. This here I have the value of omega. So this omega can be replaced in terms of lambda by 2 pi C divided by lambda. This equation is taken from the equation 4. Now Here this 2 pi value is constant. I'm taking outside. So we will get 2 pi, this inverse here, right? Again, d by d lambda into n1 divided by lambda, the whole inverse into, here also I'm taking 2 pi as a constant value here. So minus 1 divided by lambda square, because the differentiation of this 1 by lambda into d by d lambda, we will get minus 1 by lambda square, right? So now this term is taken in here. So we will get this 1 by 2 pi. It can be written as 1 by 2 pi. So here we, in the numerator, we have 2 pi c. So this 2 pi and this term can be written as 1 by 2 pi. The 2 pi get cancelled. So we will get the value as minus c divided by lambda square. Again, here we have d by d lambda into n1 divided by lambda, the whole inverse, right? Now, by differentiation or partial differentiation, we will get the value of Vg is equal to minus c by lambda square. So take this as UV method, right? So we will get 1 by lambda. So here we have 1 by lambda into d n1 divided by d lambda, plus this term will be a constant term. So by differentiation of d by d lambda into 1 by lambda is equal to minus 1 by lambda square, the whole inverse. Here we have the whole inverse. It can be written here. So now just here we have the negative sign. So I'm substituting here the minus 1 by lambda d n1 divided by d lambda. So this minus can be written here n1 divided by lambda square, the whole inverse, right? Now taking minus outside, already here we have minus. So taking minus outside, we have to rearrange. This term will become positive and this term will become negative. So we will get c divided by, so here also we have minus. Again, this minus, we are taking this minus outside. This minus into minus, this term turns to plus. So c divided by lambda square into n1 divided by, this is a positive term. So I'm just rearranging this term, n1 divided by lambda square minus of 1 by lambda into dn1 divided by d lambda. Again, the whole inverse. So this, to avoid this whole inverse, we have to write this term as a reciprocal term, right? So by rearranging this term, we will get c by lambda square into n1 divided by lambda square minus 1 by lambda into dn1 divided by d lambda. So now just we get the value Vg is equal to c divided by, here already we have the value as lambda square, right? So this lambda square is multiplied throughout inside. We will get, we are multiplying this lambda square towards the denominator term, means this n1 into lambda square divided by lambda square. So this lambda square get cancelled, minus of lambda square divided by lambda. So there also the lambda, in lambda square we have 2 lambda. So that lambda, the denominator lambda get cancelled. So we will get dn1 divided by d lambda. So rearranging this expression, right? So I'm just multiplying this lambda square towards here. So lambda square get cancelled. Lambda square, this lambda get cancelled. So we will get Vg is equal to c divided by n1 minus of this lambda into dn1 divided by d lambda. So the whole term can be represented as Vg. So this Vg is nothing but a group index value. So hope you may understand the concept, right? Thank you, students.